Hello, my fellow human. Welcome back to Scatter Love Tarot. It's your girl coming at you with another pick a card reading. We're all here sharing this human experience together, and this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic selves. We do things differently here on this channel, so with that being said, if the message does happen to resonate, it would mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. Triggering statements may arise on the readings themselves. There's no obligation to force it to fit, and keeping in mind that triggers can be a beautiful blueprint for us to deepen our healing journey. Your time and your energy are a true gift and a blessing, and I'm honored to share them with you here today. So with that being said, today's reading is Who is Secretly Longing for You? We're going to go ahead and open with our prayer, and we'll get your reading underway. Okay, my beloved source, this prayer is for anyone and everyone that comes onto this channel, whether it's for a moment's time or for the entire time. You know, while these readings are fun, sometimes they do help us reaffirm our intuitive notions, the downloads that you're giving us. Sometimes we do feel like maybe we've got it wrong, or maybe we don't see clearly what it is that is in front of us, or maybe we're questioning ourselves whether or not we're experiencing the truth of a connection, or if we're experiencing the truth of what sensations we're feeling. So today I ask that you open us up so that we can trust our intuition and truly listen to our intuition and recognize when it is that soft voice that's coming in quietly, whispering to us the truth, versus when it is the ego that's crashing in loud, trying to convince us of what it wants us to believe. And to give ourselves grace for the moments that we might get it wrong. To recognize that it's not about always being right. It's simply about practicing, becoming more aligned, becoming better. It's not about perfection. It's about trying again. If at first we don't succeed, try again. So today I ask that you give us the courage to do just that. That it's okay for us to stumble and fall. It's equally important for us to stand back up, brush ourselves off, and continue on with the journey. That being human means we will fall. But being human means that we also are capable of persevering and having the resolve to get back up and keep moving. As these words are spoken upon this tribe and onto this reading, so shall they be. Amen. Aho. Ase. Thank you, my beloved source. Thank you. All right. So today I felt called to using my heavenly body. Wow. Let's get into it, huh? Something about emotions. Yeah, I felt called to using my Heavenly Body Astrology deck by Lily Ashwell. This is such a beautiful deck. I definitely highly recommend it. I use this on every reading. This is probably one of the decks that I actually use on every reading. And if I don't use it, it's very rare. Just such a great energy. I absolutely love this deck. So yeah, let's get into it and find out who is secretly longing for you. What astrology oracle card is going to help us better understand this message? Today's source. Who is secretly longing for you? Okay, thank you. Who is secretly longing for you? All right. Pile 1. Who is secretly longing for you? What oracle card is going to help us better understand the message for pile number 1, source? Thank you. Pile number 2. Who is secretly longing for you? What oracle card is going to help us better understand the message for pile number 2, source? Thank you. All right, pile number 3. Who is secretly longing for you? What oracle card is going to help us better understand the message for pile 3, source? Thank you. All right. Collective energy. On the bottom, we have mutable energy with Gemini, Virgo, Sag, and Pisces. Surrender, fluidity, and welcoming change. You know, this is interesting because I do feel like there's somebody here who does want to date you. Like, they're longing for you because they want to date you. They're longing for you because they want to take things to the next level with you. And they do have a lot of deep emotion for you. Maybe both of you are healing from codependent situations, and that's why it's so important to welcome change into your lives, as well as to surrender to what the divine has in plan for you, what source has in plan for you. It's not always about what we want it to be or what we expect it to be. It's oftentimes what we need it to be, and sometimes that differs vastly from what our emotional ego is trying to convince us of. And I feel like you are someone who vastly differs from what this person expects or has expected in their lives. Like, you don't fit the physical profile that they're used to going towards. You don't fit the emotional profile that they're used to going towards. You don't fit the spiritual profile that they're used to going towards. Like, there's something very unique and raw about you. And the person who is longing for you is someone who is really adverse to change. Like, they really like things to be very stable, and they like things to be easily predictable. And with you, it's not. It's very unpredictable. They don't really know how things are going to unfold. And I feel like, in a way, you're healing them to that stubborn energy that they have, that aversion to change. And all the while, they can't help but keep wanting more from you. They can't help but keep wanting things to be deeper with you. But there is still a fear that's coming in through here. And I do feel like in some cases that this is someone who has a tendency to want to control outcomes. They want things to be, again, that certain way, right? They have an aversion to change. And they want things to appear and look and fall into place in a very certain scalable measure. And with you, that's not how it's happening, and that's not how it has happened in the past. And so whether you're in contact with this person or not, everything that you do, even now, it defies their logic and it defies their reasoning. So no matter how deeply connected the two of you may be, there's still things that you do that they cannot predict. And that's what's so scary to them. Like, they imagine, if I say this, then they'll say this, but you never say what they expect you to say. You're always very unique in your approach. I also feel like you very much, when anybody connects with you, no matter who it is, family, lovers, friends, whoever it is that connects with you, you take a moment to actually consider what it is that they're saying and respond in accordance to what it is that has been said, versus just responding for the sake of responding. Like, you're not just going to say empty words. That's not who you are. And so who's secretly longing for you is someone who is used to being responded back to, or reacted more so back to, with emptiness. And that's why they can't help but long for you. This could be a Gemini. This could be a Virgo, a Sag, or a Pisces. They could have mutable signs highly aspect in their chart. But it does feel like this is someone who has had to get used to change while still trying to be stubborn in resisting change as well. So let's see what Mutable says from the book, and we'll see if that gives us a deeper understanding of who they are. Fire. All right. It says this fluid energy is impossible to articulate. Being so malleable and prone to change, it's amorphous and adaptable, shifty, and can't be pinned down. Yeah, so we got that energy for sure. It says in Mother Nature's realm, it's expressed at the end of each season, just before transitioning into a new cycle, like autumn leaves about to fall. The mutable signs of the zodiac are Gemini, Virgo, Sag, and Pisces. The energetics are fluidity and adaptability. The experience is here surrendering and welcoming change. The shadow can be fickle, unstable, and wishy-washy. Explore non-attachment today. Hold each moment with an open palm, feeling deeply but loving freely. Your angels want you to explore the balance between connection and letting go. They say you don't need to cling so tightly to an identity, an idea, or another person. This doesn't mean avoiding intimacy. It only means stepping out of fear and into love. You are safe to let go. Everything true is always real. Yeah, and so I feel like for them, you're teaching them how to do just that. Like, they're so used to controlling, and yet in some way, shape, or form, this is someone you're teaching to soften into the reality of letting go. And it's scary for them, but that has created a deep longing that they cannot resist. And this could also be someone that has Leo, Cancer, or Aquarius energy highly aspect in their chart. I am hearing Aquarius Sun. I'm also hearing Aquarius in the 12th house, and the 6th house is coming through. But I feel like this is someone who likes to pride themselves on being different. However, they're definitely ruled by societal constructs. They do things very similar and very routinely, and you don't. And you disrupt their routine, but you're disrupting it in a very beautiful way. And you're showing them a much more inclusive way to live, free of attachment. And they have had to face a lot of fears when talking to you. But I do feel like when they connect with you, this is not something that they're going to vocalize because it is a vulnerability for them, but it also, they see that as a weakness. Like, I can't really vocalize that, but it is how I'm feeling right now, that you are in this process of teaching them something deeper, and so they are scared. This could be someone that also has tattoos on their arms, or has like a star on their shoulder, I'm seeing. This could be someone that also has certain characters up their arms. So like I'm seeing like horror flick, like a sleeve with like horror flicks up their arms, or someone that has like old cartoons like Betty Boop and Steamboat Willie and stuff like that, like up their arm. Like, I'm seeing a sleeve for sure, but it's like characters. I'm seeing characters on the sleeves, not necessarily designs. The other thing I'm seeing is like tribal designs across the chest, or something specifically down the right side of the neck. Wow, I don't usually get strong images like this, but they're really coming in today. Or just based on tattoos coming in. This could also be someone that has gotten like an anklet type tattoo around one of their ankles. I'm also seeing tattoos going up their foot. Like, I don't know why this is coming through, but it's like as if they'd gotten the skeleton of their foot exposed through a tattoo. Like as if someone had opened up their foot so you could see the bones underneath, but like a tattoo like that. And that could be anywhere, but I'm seeing the foot specifically. Okay, so yeah, there's that. I'm not seeing any back tattoos or anything like that. Just really like the extremities really is what's coming through. Okay. Someone who wears a hat backwards all the time, like a baseball cap, specifically black, is coming in. They have a big ring, like one big ring that they never take off. It's like a really thick, fat ring, like a thumb ring, or like on this finger or something. It's one of those really thick banded rings. And I'm seeing something like really dark eyes. Like they might have really colored eyes, but they're still really dark. Okay. All right. So pile 1. We have this dice with the 5th house for you to choose from. Or we have this blue apatite. Pile number 2, we have this dice with Aquarius on it for you to choose from. We have this piece of carnelian. In pile number 3, we have this dice with the moon on it. Or we have this shard of amethyst for you to choose from. Okay. So pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3, whichever pile you feel called to, that should be the one for you, and I will see you over there. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with the 5th house on it, or perhaps you were called to this blue apatite, or maybe you were called to this card during the shuffle, this is going to be a reading on who is secretly longing for you. We're all here sharing this human experience together, and this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic selves. We do things differently here on this channel, so that being said, if the message does resonate, it would mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. Triggering statements may arise on the readings themselves, and there's no obligation to force it to fit. And keeping in mind that triggers can be a beautiful blueprint for us to deepen our healing journey. So with that, your time and your energy are a true gift and a blessing today, and I'm honored to be sharing it with you. Let's hop to it and find out who is secretly longing for you, pile 1. Who is secretly longing for you? What would you like to share with us today, source? For pile number 1. Okay, so we have the 7th house here. We've got Leo energy and we've got Saturn. You know, this is definitely someone, you know, we're talking about 7th house as our interpersonal relationships. So this could be a partner, this could be an ex, this could be husband, a wife, a spouse, this could be anybody really in your life, you know, close, intimate relationships, friendships. It doesn't just have to be romantic relationships, right? Naturally, this is going to have a romantic feel to it because of the nature of the reading, but again, they don't have to have a romantic connection to you. This is definitely someone who sees you as a partner for future, for life. And this is someone who maybe at some point in time, you also have seen them as a life partner, like someone you would want in your life. And there's been a lot of struggle between the two of you. I do feel like there's been control in this relationship. There was someone here who was trying to control you. There's a lot of barriers. There's a lot of blockages between you and them, and a lot of drama that came up between you and them. I feel like this person is really egotistical by nature. They just really want to be the center of attention, and they are feeling like they don't have control when they cannot make sure that they know exactly what's going to happen every step of the way. And so I do feel like that's what part of the Saturn energy was between the two of you, or has been between the two of you. It doesn't mean, you know, and I think it's hard because it's like everybody thinks that as soon as someone's toxic, like there's no possible way that they could love us. But, you know, this journey is unique because it has very different grades of love, if you will, right? There's love that's backed by fear, and there's love that's backed by love. And so remembering that even if it's not the love that we deserve or that we can see in our lives, it doesn't mean that it's devoid of love, right? What it means is that this person is unable to step into a vibration that resonates with us, and that's okay. And I just feel like I need to mention that here because it does feel like this is someone that maybe at some point you've placed great blame on, and for reasons, right? Like for valid reasons as well, but also recognizing that this person doesn't have the ability to let go of a past that they've been so greatly, you know, molded by. At times, this person is very childish, and they let their anger get the best of them. And I feel like for them, control means that means like it means that they'll never get hurt, and that's why they do their best to control situations and life. But I feel like this is someone that you maybe had promised yourself to, or someone that you were married to, or someone that you had decided to build something with at some point in time. Like you really thought that things were going to go the distance, and I feel like they didn't. And this person has forever been changed by you, pile one. This person's been forever affected by you, by your light, by your love, by your compassion. And I keep getting this energy coming in where it's like I couldn't recognize the good thing that I had until it was gone. And that, you know, it's like too little too late. I get that. I absolutely understand that. But sometimes people have to go through that. They have to lose one of the best things in their lives, or the best thing in their lives, in order to wake up to what that truly was and what that meant to them. And I feel like that's exactly what's happening to this person, or has happened to this person. And so they're longing for you because they recognize that you are the best thing that has happened to them. And there's like also a resignation here where it's like, I know I'm never going to be able to get back into pile one's life like that again. And I feel like if they weren't so shrouded in their pride and their emotional ego, I do feel like they would say that they're sorry. And I understand that saying I'm sorry is not necessarily something that's going to make it all better. But I do feel like there's this feeling, I wish I had not been so proud and I could have actually told pile one I was sorry when it mattered. Because I feel like for a long time, that's all you wanted was an apology. You just wanted them to recognize how they had hurt you, and they were just incapable of it at the time. And they're still in that place of being truly incapable of seeing the magnitude of how they affected you. And so the way that their version is versus the way that your version is, they are very different. And that's okay, right? Like it's okay because you, I feel like, had to let them go to live their own journey. And I feel like for many of you, pile one, I feel like that was very, very difficult decision to make. Because there's this energy where you had given your heart, and saying goodbye felt like ripping out your own heart. Like I promised this person so much, and I promised that I would give them my word, and I had to break my word in this, and that hurt me too, but I had to protect myself as well. And sometimes the right thing and the hardest thing are what you're meant to do. Like that's right, they're the same thing. And that's what it feels like. It's like I had to make a choice for myself, and that was really hard. And so this is someone who I feel like is very good looking, or has a very good presence with people, and can very easily charm a lot of people. But behind closed doors, this person turns into a very different individual. Like they very clearly have two sides of themselves, and maybe even more so. But there was definitely two very clear sides, I feel like, when you were around this person that you saw. And this is the person that's longing for you. But let's get some more with the tarot. I'm going to be using the Kim Kranz Wild Unknown Tarot today. So who is secretly longing for you? I feel like, and that's all they can do is secretly long for you now, because, you know, they're very much reminiscing about the things that you guys experienced together. They're reliving those memories over in their mind again. And I feel like that's also a bit of torture for them, because there are times when memories come up, the really harsh ones that come up, and I feel like they're trying to replay, like, what could I have done differently? And I feel like for you, it was simple. Just show up, be honest, be real. And they were being real to the amount that they could be in that moment. Projecting their emotions and their trauma was the only way that they could be real. Yeah. Until you stopped giving them love. And I feel like you never stopped loving this person. Like, it's hard, you know, when you get treated this way. It's like the love is still there, but you have to outweigh the love sometimes with the reality of the situation. And that can be really challenging for a lot of people. And that's why sometimes with the spiritual community, where they're like, oh, they're narcissists, they're terrible people, and they're this, that, and the other. But sometimes we forget that we loved them. We loved them deeply. And while maybe, yes, it was a mirroring back of some of our own internal wounds, like, we still fell in love with the potential of that person. And that potential is what left us running for the hills in the end. But, honoring the fact that we love them. And I think sometimes just being honest with ourselves that, yeah, I did love them. And it's okay that I love them. And it's okay to admit that I love them, instead of saying like, oh, they were just so toxic for me. Like, because when we're like in that energy of, oh, they're so toxic for us, we end up beating ourselves up and saying, how could I have ever loved somebody like that? How could I have ever even fallen for someone like that? We end up blaming our younger self for getting involved with something that we at one point thought was right for us. So we have to honor the fact that we did care deeply for them, and that it's okay that we had to let that go. That's why I was saying, like, I feel like letting go is a hard thing. And sometimes I feel like what people don't talk about, like if this was a narcissist or someone who had really heavy narcissistic tendencies, what people don't talk about all the time with narcissistic relationships, especially with the empath, is that Stockholm syndrome is a really very real thing. And that doesn't make it any less real, right? And sometimes the Stockholm syndrome becomes the addiction that keeps leading us back, and we get so addicted to it. It's like they're our drug without us realizing it. And even though we're wanting a way out, that we don't know how to get out, because we've gotten ensnared in this highs and low. And that toxic pattern is what brings us back time and time again, because we've grown so accustomed to being treated that way. But this is the person, I feel like this was something along those lines where it was a very difficult relationship, and you realized that you deserved better, and leaving had to have been one of the hardest things that you did, choosing yourself. Even though now when you look back, you probably thank your younger self for choosing to let go. But I feel like also honoring the fact that your younger self really was 100% committed to this situation or this person or whatever it was that you were building. Like, this could have even been a partner in a business situationship that was, I heard two timing, like maybe stealing from the business, or, not being honest in the books or something like that. They were two-timing you, and it was like you still cared about this person. And I feel like that's why sometimes it's really hard when we talk about narcissistic relationships. We have to remember they're not the devils. And I feel like that's something that a lot of people are trying to give reason to why someone would act the way that a narcissist does. And so they immediately call them devils or living demons. But the reality is that they chose the opposite path that we as empaths chose. We chose not to hurt another person because we didn't like how we felt. But for them, they're like, the thought process is if everyone is going to hurt me like this, I'm going to hurt others first so I don't have to go through that myself. Versus an empath says, I don't want anybody to feel the way I just felt ever. And so I'm never going to treat somebody like that. So it's a choice that we make on the path, and then we become influenced by that choice as we continue to move on. And so we have to remember, nobody is born a narcissist. Narcissists are made, right? And that's just the way that it is. It's the way they see life, and it comes from some really deep trauma. And I'm not here to diagnose, but I am here to remind everybody out there that the more that we treat narcissists like demons, the more we're enabling their behavior, because we're basically telling them that, oh, you're driven by something that allows you to not be human. But they're still humans having this human experience, and reminding them that you were made because of the situations that you went through. Maybe if enough of us look at it that way, and enough of us see the truth behind that. And I feel like psychologists are starting to talk about it a lot more now too. We're reminding narcissists and giving them a safe space to hopefully make a change for themselves. It doesn't mean that all narcissists do, but what I am saying is that it's not impossible. There are narcissists that are in rehab and reform, and they are coming forward and talking about their experience and why they did the things that they did. Okay, so that's what I'm feeling here. But yeah, I feel like this person definitely sees how strong you were, and they thought that they were cunning, and they thought that they were going to be able to dupe you for life. And with the Ace of Wands on the bottom of the deck, yeah, this is someone who's very sexually attracted to you, very interested in you. And I feel like this is really hard because I feel like you did give this person so much. I'm just going to move the camera a little bit. And there was a lot that was happening behind the scenes. And I feel like maybe this person was giving themselves away to others, or they were involving others in your relationship as well. Yeah. And I feel like this person was constantly in a state of self-sabotage with the Father of Wands here. Look, I mean, you can't... This is really telling, right? Like, you have the swan, and then you have this viper here. Like, a swan and a viper can't get along. Like, eventually the viper's going to eat the swan's eggs, or the viper's even going to eat the swan. Like, it's like sending an innocent into a snake's den, right? Like, that's what it feels like here. And so I feel like they did their best to mask themselves and appear like they were not a snake, or not going to create chaos. And they did a really good job for a long time, but then you awoke to that. But the truth is that you took away your love. And that's what I feel like with the Queen of Cups energy here, is that you took away your love. And that left them in a lot of turmoil. And I just heard someone say, good, they deserve that. And I just want to remind us that when we're saying that someone deserves pain and suffering, we're still in a state of needing to heal from something as well. And it's not that they do or they don't. It's just that letting go is truly letting this person experience their journey without us having an attachment to the outcome of it. And sometimes that can be really hard when someone has hurt us or broken our heart in such a way. And so I know this is really difficult, but this is who's longing for you. This person is now longing for you, and part of them are longing for the ability that they had to control you, to putting you back in the box that they had. But mostly this person is longing for you because they miss having the physical connection with you. They thought that you would be easy to replace after you walked away, and they're finding that emotionally you're not someone who's easily replaced. They're finding out that physically and sexually you're not someone who's easy to replace. They're finding out that even the mental challenges that you might have presented them with, they're not easy to replace. Because I feel like that's why they admired you so much, and admire in a way that's not necessarily positive. They admired you for the challenge that you were. They admired you for the challenge you presented for them, to taking their abilities to manipulate to a new level. And that was not your fault. It just had to do with your spiritual connection and your ability to love so deeply. And that in and of itself was a new challenge for them that they felt they could conquer. And this created a lot of hardships for you. And I feel like healing has been one of the most difficult things that you've had to do from this. And trusting people, if it does come now, it has been a situation where it has not come easily. You very rarely trust people, if at all. And I feel like you had to choose a new beginning, and the new beginning was something that was very active for you, moving away. Yeah, because there's a lot of negativity. There was a severing here. The severing here, making a choice. It was almost as if you felt at one point that you two were meant to be together, meant to be in each other's lives, right? But there was a severing here. And I feel like the severing came from you. You had to make a choice. And the choice was not easy. And this person is someone who is very charming. And I feel like they're very witty, and they're very intelligent, and they're very smart. And they know exactly what to say to people, and they know exactly what people want to hear. And they definitely use that to their own advantage. And they did that with you, and you watched them also from the sidelines do that with so many people. And regardless if this was a romantic connection or not, if this was like a business partner, at some point the morale, like your morals got to you. You're like, this isn't really good. Like we don't need to be talking like this to customers, or we don't need to be creating clients that don't trust us because we're not being honest or we're not being truthful. And so there was a lot of looking at things from very different places. And for you, I feel like you recognize something from your past, and that was enough to help you encourage yourself to move on. But also, I do feel like there's something that's slumbering within you right now, that there's a fear of tapping into that again. And it feels like your vulnerability and your ability to love again because of the situation, which there's nothing wrong with that. But reminding yourself that present moments are not the past, and that no one will hurt you the way that this person did, because you learned so much from this person. You learned certain mannerisms, you learned certain words that they use, you learned certain ways that they show up. And that gives you the power of discernment in situations moving forward. And I feel like Source is reminding you to let yourself be seen and let yourself connect with people so that you can put yourself back out there, because there is something good for you coming in your future. There is people that are out there that are going to align with you and bring you the love that you deserve. You're going to meet other swans because you're a swan. It's destined for you to meet other swans. It doesn't mean you'll never connect with vipers again. What it means is that now you will be cautious of all people and allow situations to unfold in a slow and steady way so that you can gauge whether or not this is a viper or is this someone who I actually want to move forward with. There's no pushing any situations here, but I do feel like this was a very difficult situation for you, or has been if it's still going on. So let's see, what else would Source like to say here? Who is secretly longing for you, pile one? Yeah. It's just interesting. This could be someone who has Gemini highly aspect in their chart. So I'm seeing Cancer, Sagittarius, Leo, Aries, and Aquarius energy. Capricorn and Libra energy are coming through. I'm hearing Sagittarius in the 7th house, Libra or Saturn in Libra, Leo moon, Gemini and Mercury, Gemini's in Mars. And then we also have Gemini and Venus with this card, and flattery. So I just feel like this person's learned how to flatter people and become a reflection of that person. So for as much as you're an empath, this person is also an empath, but they use their empathy as a means of deception. And so they're really good at reading people's fears, and they're really good at reading what people need and want to hear. It's not about needing to hear. I feel like this person just knows what people want to hear, and they're really good at reading that. And so they become that mirror in people's lives, and they say exactly what the person wants to hear to kind of buff up their ego, because if I can inflate their ego, then I know that I can get them. And that's what it is. It's like this person lives in a romance novel. This person's walked out of a romance novel, right? This person has walked out of the business 101 meeting, and they use everything that they learn to manipulate people. Like they're very good at attracting people into their lives based on how they talk. Okay, and then on the bottom, yeah, we have Saturn and Capricorn with riches. So this person appears to be incredibly abundant. The way they dress, the things they own, they like to do high class things. This wouldn't surprise me if this person went and got a manicure, pedicure like every week, or if they got a haircut every 2 weeks. Like very common for them to do things very often. They go shopping for brand new clothes once a month. Like they don't like to wear the same thing over again. They are very adamant about keeping their shoes clean. Like this is someone who can't stand a mess and can't stand a normal mess that's in lives, like living in your house, right? Like this is someone who has OCD. This is someone who has, has to appear a certain way. They have to look like they have way more money than what they have. That's the type of person that this is. Very dishonest. There's a very dishonest air about that, right? It's like your abundance comes from within, but this person believes that the more abundant they look on the outside, the more that people are going to gather with them. Look at this. We have Hugh Hefner coming in here. I mean, look, the Playboy Bunny Mansion genius who had all these women around him all the time. right? And he had new women at all times as well for himself. And, there's nothing against Hugh Hefner. He lived the life the way that he wanted to. Good for him. But that image, right? This is someone who is just very good at attracting, whether it is same sex or opposite sex, it doesn't matter. They're just very good at attracting partners, and they're very good at manipulating partners. So it says, make every night a one-night stand. Long-term relationships are great. Have as many as you can, and surround yourself with young partners to stay fit. Yeah, so I do feel like if this was a romantic situation, whether you're aware of it or not, this person was highly unfaithful. This person was someone who they're really good at making it seem like everything was falling apart with you and them, and getting people to come into their lives and show them empathy and sympathy. And then, at the end of the day, they were still running back to you. And that's because you were always at home, and you always stayed at home, or you were always there for them. And they could just do whatever they wanted on the side, or they treated it like they could do whatever they wanted on the side. A very dishonest person. Yeah. Casanova. Yeah. This is a player. Okay. We have Giacomo Casanova with Be the Flame, Not the Moth. Oh my gosh. We have Always Be a Free Agent. Promise fidelity to all, right? False promises. It's not destiny, it's opportunity. So yeah, this was someone who was, they looked for opportunities, right? Like, what is that saying, or that old adage or something? It's like the crime of opportunity. So it's like, when someone's looking to steal something, they just go around and check and see if any doors are open. It's not that if all the doors were locked, they wouldn't steal anything. But if they find a door that's unlocked, they're going to steal everything. Like, it's just an opportunity. It's like, oh, okay, well, if you're going to open the door for me, I'm going to take it. Right? And unfortunately, there were people who definitely took it. Like, regardless of what this person looks like, there was just some sort of charisma about this person that people were naturally drawn to. And yeah, it was just really, really harsh. Okay, so these flipped over. We have Alchemist here. It says transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom, and the shadow is misuse of power and knowledge that come through spiritual practice. So this is that confirmation that this person is very empathic. Like, they are empathic, but they use their empathy as a form of manipulation. Then we have the student here with humility and devotion to knowledge, openness to lifelong learning. The shadow is arrogance in pursuit of destructive knowledge, unwillingness to translate knowledge into action. So definitely in the pursuit of destructive knowledge. I feel like this person learned as much as they could for the fact of keeping up their facade. And then on the bottom, yeah, we have the healer. And this is just that confirmation of you in the process of healing from this situation. So it says passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit. Ability to help transform pain into healing. And the shadow is taking advantage of those who need help, failing to care for oneself. And I just feel like that's exactly what's going on. Like, this person saw that you needed healing, and they used that. They took advantage of that, and they ran with it and created a lot of pain and destruction in their path. Who is secretly longing for pile number 1? So we have Aquarius flipping over here with Fly Your Freak Flag. And I feel like this is the other thing too. It's like this person maybe was like telling you like, oh, so it's kind of twofold here. They felt like you were a freak in the sheets, or they wanted to be a freak in the sheets, and maybe it was just a little bit outside of your comfort zone. And then they were like, well, if you can't do that, then I'm going to go and get it somewhere else, right? Like, that's how they treated it. Or if you were the one that was a freak in the sheets that was outside of their comfort zone, and then they felt like there shouldn't have been a reason that you knew how to do all these things. Like, oh, obviously you're going and cheating on me, or obviously you're going and doing certain things on me because, you know all these things that you shouldn't know. Yeah, we have Saturn coming out again. Time for tough love. So this has been a really difficult situation all around. Saturn coming out twice in this connection. And that's the thing. But I feel like at the end of the day, this person misses that as well. Like they're secretly longing for you because they miss that. And they realize that you actually were paying attention to their needs. And while maybe they didn't give that back to you, like they miss that because they recognize that they're getting the same back to them that they gave out to you. A lot of selfishness. Yeah, Uranus, expect miracles. I also feel like they're watching you succeed in a lot of things right now. And that scares them as well because, you know, I couldn't control pile number 1. Oh my gosh, I cannot make this up. The first card to fly out of this deck, the Golden Mirror. Narcissist, love bombing, self-absorbed, one-sided. Yeah, this person. Again, I'm not here to diagnose, but the cards are showing that the energy is very clear. Okay, like the energy that's coming in is very clear. But yeah, they definitely, they're mad because they feel like they lost a golden opportunity with you. And that bothers them too. But they're secretly longing for the connection that you had. Cutting ties, moving on, receive what you need, progression and arriving. Yeah, I do feel like this is that confirmation that you're the one that cut ties with them. You had to move on to save yourself. No one deserves to have to deal with a narcissist. No one deserves that, right? Regardless of the viewpoints that are coming through on, you know, narcissists have an opportunity to heal. At the end of the day, pile 1, it is not your job to heal them. If they're not healing, then it's your job to take care of yourself, right? And to remember that it's okay to move on. Okay, on the bottom of the deck, wow, look at this. We have the snake, competition and enemy, the other woman, look over your shoulder. So again, pointing out that this person was definitely unfaithful. They had a lot of things on their mind that they wanted to accomplish with or without you, and they didn't really care how that was affecting you. It was unfortunate, but now they realize that they lost the best thing that they had. Yeah, and now you're healing, right? Healing heartbreak from toxicity or addiction and an abusive relationship. So again, that goes hand in hand with Saturn, right? It was tough love. This was a tough situation, but you're healing and you're becoming stronger. Having gone through this, you now know how to deal with people who are like this. You also know not to give yourself quite the way that you gave yourself to this person, which in a narcissistic relationship, we end up giving away our power, and you're not doing that anymore. You're still standing firmly in your power, and that's a great place to be at. Yeah, you're very practical about your approach. Now we have the moon in Capricorn, practicality, right? Step by step. There you see them planting and harvesting back here, and they're tilling the fields for new seeds to get planted. And so you're taking the time to till the seed, to till the fields, to plant the seeds, to water the seeds, to nurture the seeds, watch them grow, give them what they need to nurture them so that you can harvest the crops that you want to harvest, the life that you want to harvest now. And I feel like that's been really a big challenge for you, because it's like, do I deserve what it is that I want? And you're finally seeing some of that come back to you. And if you're just now starting on this healing journey, that's the promise that you will see that come back to you. Okay, I'm so sorry you've had to deal with someone like this, and even more frustrating that it might come back up in a reading, but understanding that this is what Source wants to remind you of your power, and that, you know, intuitively you weren't wrong about this person. And I feel like with the Stockholm Syndrome, sometimes we do go back wondering, you know, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I really did love that person. And then we remember how they treated us a couple of times, and then we're like, no, I was right. But then we also have that doubt that slips in here and there. And it can be so overwhelming when that doubt comes back in, because we feel like we did the wrong thing, and Source is reminding you, you did the right thing for you, and that is enough, and you are enough. Cancer, yeah, you had to protect yourself, nurture, comfort, and protection. So this could have been a Cancer that you were dealing with, or you could have Cancer highly aspect in your chart. But I do feel like with Cancer coming through, it's just that, look, I opened the book right to Saturn. Whoa, what a synchronicity. Says, you know, I feel like the thing is here is that you had to learn how to nurture and comfort yourself and protect yourself. And that was not an easy journey. All right, Cancer, where are you at here? Leo, there we go. All right, Cancer says, Look at this. This just goes to show how deeply sensitive you are as well. Cancer is a sensitive energy with a deep interior life. It is emotional and receptive, tied to the past and memories. And these warm, caring tribal waters are family-oriented beings who are tender-hearted and protective. Moon-ruled, this divine mother energy gives and requires gentle nurturing. These intuitive creatures feel all energy swimming around. It can be overwhelming, not knowing where their own feelings end and another's begin. Because of their extreme sensitivity, they often build an external shell, making them hard on the outside and soft on the inside. And like the sideways walking crab to which they are linked, they're often indirect in feeling and communication. Cancer's sentimental warmth can go too far and become clingy. They don't always separate then and now, they and you. They prioritize home and family above all else and may ignore individual needs, their own or those of others, in an effort to keep the clan together. But when balanced, this is a loving cocoon of energy, bringing warmth and comfort wherever they go. The energetics are sensitivity, protection, comfort, family, tribe, nostalgia, and inner emotion. The experiences are nurturing self and others. The shadow are overprotective, clingy, indirect, and inconsistent. It says, what makes you feel safe and cared for? Journey inward and listen to your needs as you would a child you love very much. Free write in your journal, giving voice to your child within. Deeper than wants and wishes, at the root of the root, what is it you cry for? Where are you feeling empty, scared, powerless, or deprived? Consider ways to nurture and provide your inner child and develop a focused daily self-care practice. Becoming your own mother means becoming your own healer. And we got the healer card on the bottom of the deck over there too. So a truly powerful energy. And it might really do you well to journal about that too. It's like, you know, how you cared about this person, giving that part of you a voice, and also reminding that part of yourself that it's okay. It's okay that we love this person. I feel like not enough people talk about it. And so there's a lot of us that are building even stronger exterior shells saying like, how could I ever have loved somebody that was this manipulative? That you that fell in love with this person didn't know. And it's okay, right? It's okay if you even still love them. But that's part of protecting yourself, is honoring the part of you that went towards this person and wanted them in your life. And also saying, you know what? We had to let them go because it was time for us to put ourselves first. And that's okay too. And that's what I'm going to do now. And I'm always going to give you a voice moving forward. I'm not going to tell you you were stupid. I'm not going to tell you how dare you. I'm not going to tell you any of that. Right? Part of that healing is saying, I understand. I was there with you. We experienced it together. And now we're stronger because of it. And moving forward, I'll always hear your concerns and your worries, but also know that I'm here and I have your back. And sometimes it's very powerful for us to do that for ourselves. But wow, your reading turned into such a profound reading. And again, I'm so sorry you've had to deal with someone like this, but I'm so proud of you for choosing yourself, pile number one. So this is what I see here for you today. If you feel like this was your reading, leave a pink heart down below and say, healing my heart has brought me to this space of honoring all parts of myself so I can embrace the whole being I am. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box. I'd like to take a moment to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this very deep, profound message today. And until next time, pile number one, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with Aquarius on it, or perhaps you were called to this piece of carnelian, or maybe you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, this is going to be your reading on who's secretly longing for you. We're all here sharing this human experience together, and this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic selves. I do things differently here on this channel, so that being said, if the message does resonate, it would mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. There may be triggering statements that do arise on the readings themselves. Remember, there is no obligation to force it to fit, and triggers can be a beautiful blueprint for us to deepen our healing journeys. With that, your time and your energy are a true gift and blessing, and I'm honored to be here spending it with you. And let's go ahead and hop to it for pile 2. Who is secretly longing for you? Pile 2, who is secretly longing for you? Source, what would you like to share with us today? Okay, interesting. So we have the second house, we have Cancer energy, and we've got the North Node. Someone who feels like you were meant to meet on your journey. This is someone who has a lot of confidence with themselves, but they're also very nurturing and compassionate, and I feel like they listen really well, and they feel like emotionally abundant. Very emotionally abundant. This is someone who gets you at a deeper level. Like the conversations you have are kind of wild and out of this world. And I do feel like there's definitely an attraction here for sure. Like there's a deep longing to be near you all the time, but there's also a physical attraction that is very strong. And it feels like you're very different from the people that this person normally goes towards. And this person may be very different from the people that you normally go towards. And you may resonate with messages from the collective message in the beginning as well. So I would recommend that if you feel called to it. It is timestamped in the description box if you'd like to check that out. I feel like this person has shared parts of their journey with you where they've healed and they've overcome things, and they are also walking a very spiritual journey. And I feel like there's just this deep resonance between the two of you. And so I do feel like there is contact with this connection. You're definitely talking to this person. And I don't know if you're actually aware of just how much this person likes you or how much this person cares about you. They really are emotionally attached to you. And even if it hasn't been a very long time, or if it has been a very long time, like that emotion just keeps growing day by day. And for them, you are the person that they've always wanted, the person that they've always asked for, and the person that they wanted to manifest. And I do feel like there is a bit of resistance here. I'm not sure if that's coming from you or from them. It really actually feels like it's coming from you, pile 2, which is okay. There's no harm in having resistance to the situation, but I do feel like that's because of past situations where, you know, maybe you've been lied to or deceived by other people in the past, and it's almost as if this feels too good to be true. And if it feels too good to be true, there's always that caution that comes with it as well. Like, well, I don't know if I should trust it, or I don't know if this is really meant for me. And you know, we can definitely dig into that a little bit more, but remembering also that even things that seem too good to be true, like if we're not pouring ourselves into it, if we're not giving ourselves an opportunity to show up, or if we're holding ourselves back, we're not being truthfully honest with the person involved in the situation, which means we're not being honest with ourselves. And so part of us growing beyond the pain and the suffering that we went through is allowing ourselves to be 100% honest with ourselves and open in a way that reminds us that we will no longer get hurt the way that we did in the past. Even if we give someone all of that information about ourselves, there's no way anyone can hurt us the way that people did in the past, because we've learned from those lessons. And it's not about the information, it's about how we perceive that projection back onto us. So if someone goes out of their way to try and hurt us, we're no longer perceiving it the way that we did at one point in time. We're recognizing the trauma behind it. We're recognizing that they're trying to project onto me. We're recognizing that it's not us that's the problem. They're just trying to make it seem like we're the problems. They're having an internal struggle within themselves. And so taking it on fully is not something that you will ever do again. And I feel like that's just something Source wants to talk about to you right now. But this person is very attractive, and I feel like this person has a heart of gold. Like the way that they talk to you is very romantic, or it's very genuine, it's very kind, it's very loving. It's very inclusive. And you feel supported and held by this person when you're contacting them or when you're talking with them. And I feel like both of you do feel that there's this energy, like we were definitely meant to meet, like our paths were meant to cross. And there's a deep gratitude for that as well. And I feel like you both are very loyal to one another, and there's a deep loyalty that is growing as we speak. Like the more that you connect with each other, that loyalty grows, and that trust and that bond is growing, and that is a good thing. Let's see though. Let's see what else comes out here. Getting someone who might be short coming in, like someone who's really short. Someone who maybe you go for tall people, and this is someone who's really short compared to the people that you go for. Maybe you like really short people, and this is someone who's really tall. So this is like an opposites attract type energy that's coming in. We're going to be using the Kim Cran's Wild Unknown Tarot today to get some more information. So who is secretly longing for you, pile number 2? Yeah, this is someone who definitely wants to build something for you. They love you. They love you. They are sexually attracted to you. They are physically attracted to you. Like, even if you're different from what they normally attracted in their life before, there's something about your energy that they see clearly, and they don't want to give up on that. Like, before, they might have had times when they felt very unsure of moving forward with certain connections, because this is an all-in type of person. Like when they commit, they're all in, like whether that's friendship or if that's a romantic relationship, like they're all in when they commit. And so with you though, there was no questioning that. Like they just knew right away. Who's secretly longing for you, pile number 2? Whoa. Yeah, we've got the 4 of Cups. Someone who's very emotionally stable. They've built up their emotional well-being. This could be someone who has gone to therapy, has done spiritual healing, has done spiritual retreats, meditation, something like that. Ooh, we have the Sun. Yeah, they have a very warm energy about them, very bright as well. I feel like you get excited to tell this person, like if something happens in your day, you get really excited to share it with this person. And like, oh my gosh, I went through this today, or I experienced this today, or, you know, this person came up to me today. So it's like, if it's friends, like, this is your homie. That's what this feels like. This is your homie. This is like the person that you trust with all that information, and you are always excited to just, you know, tell them, and they're always excited to tell you what's going on with them. And I feel like you both share a lot of the hardships that you went through, but you guys are also cheering each other on. Like you always cheer each other on when you get a chance. And so I do feel like most of you, like while the communication is consistent, like it doesn't feel like it's every day though. I feel like sometimes maybe this is like a once a week communication, or it could be every day. It could be that you guys talk on the phone every day or whatever, but for some, it feels like this is someone that you maybe contact on the weekends. You're like, oh my gosh, my week was yada, yada, yada. And they're like, oh yeah, I'm so glad that happened to you. I'm so sorry that happened to you. Like, tell me more, you know? And then they're like, yeah, my week was this. And you guys are just really excited to talk to each other. Or maybe you meet up once a week and go out for coffee or drinks, or tennis is coming in. That was really random, but it was coming in. So it's like you guys just really support each other so much. And they're secretly longing for you. And I feel like that's the thing. Like they long to have more connection with you. And, you know, like while this has a tendency to be romantic by nature because of the question that we're asking, just remember it does not have to be romantic, because longing is just, it doesn't have to have a romantic indentation or connotation to it. I almost said condensation to it. That was so funny. Yeah, it doesn't have to have romantic connotation to it. Wow, I'm gonna get there. Yeah, the world. You're their world. They feel like they're your world. Like they feel like you guys are just gonna be in each other's lives for forever. Like they're really grateful for you. And I feel like both of you guys connected with each other after you had healed a lot on your journey. And I feel like you guys share a lot of spiritual beliefs or a lot of similar rituals. Like there's so many things that you guys share that you can talk about back and forth, ideals, morals, core values. These are things that you guys can share with each other. Like if somebody acts a certain way, like you both are going to respond or react to that person the same way. And that's something that you can share. It's like, if someone treats you wrong, like this person, they came and they lied to me, like they're going to say something similar to you. Or I have a friend, and I love her with all my heart. I really do. But it's like, we always do this thing, and it's like something that we both have said for a long time, but it's like, use your words. So if you're on here watching this reading, here's a little shout out. I love you. If this is the reading that you pick, because she supports me, and I love her so much. I just love her so much. So, but yeah, so yeah, that like idea, it's like something that you guys will share with each other, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that you say that too. Yeah, I've said that for forever. That's so crazy. Me too. Like, I'm so glad that someone gets it, and that's what this feels like. And if this is a romantic interest, like I feel like this is someone who's just really, again, the attractiveness is just the energy that you exude. Like, you're very bright light in their life, and they're very bright light in your life. And you guys, it's not that you complete each other, because we're already complete as we are, right? But this feels like this energy of like you guys are recognizing a new depth to what it means to show up as two complete beings, two whole beings who have done the work on the journey. You're not trying to force the other one to conform to you, and they're not trying to force you to conform to them. It's like you guys are, it's the meeting of the minds, literally. And that's what this feels like. Yeah, it came after, so you guys met after something crazy had happened. So, wow. Okay, so the completion of this cycle. Look at this. You got 3 mystery cards in your 4-card draw here. And you have 3 mystery cards coming out. All incredibly powerful cards, right? Like the Sun, the Tower, or what I know as the House of God, and the World cards. So very spiritual connection here. This is something that's very high vibration, but it's come from letting go of something that had to fall apart. And this could have been a prior connection. This could have been a prior belief. This could have been a pattern that you were letting go, or an illusion that you became understanding of or understanding of. I feel like both of you went through some sort of moment where life just fell apart. Like, I'm seeing a lot of tears. I'm seeing a lot of anger as well. And together, like, you both are able to heal through that by being there with each other. Yeah, you're both willing to put in the work. And that's the thing here. That's a really powerful thing. It's like everybody wants to be in connections with others, whether that's romantic or friends or whatever it is. Everybody wants a connection, but very few people are willing to put in the effort and the work to it. They kind of just want it to fall into their lap and hope that it'll just work out, right? But I feel like this is you making a choice to show up for them. They make a choice to show up for you. You both put in the effort. It's an equal give and take kind of effort. And it's very rewarding for both of you. And there's this energy where it's like you're creating something very unique with each other. And that is a very freeing feeling. It's a very unique and it's a very unique feeling. It's like, I feel like you balance each other out as well. So this could be someone that has a lot of Saturn placements in their chart, or you could have a lot of Saturn placements in your chart. I feel like that one of you has a lot of squares in your chart for sure. The world is ruled by Saturn, and that's a unique ruling. Right? Because the world is seen as a very hopeful card. It's the end of a cycle. It's a new beginning. It's like the culmination of the spiritual journey at its finest. We've ascended to this point of understanding a part of ourselves that at one point was ruling us in a very unpleasant way. And when we look at it that way, Saturn is actually a fitting ruler for the World card, because it reminds us that without adversity in our lives, we would not grow. The spiritual journey does not mean that things will suddenly become peaches and gold. It doesn't mean that suddenly all of our hardships disappear. The spiritual journey and even the well-being, like mental health journey and all that stuff means is that now we're given adequate tools to face life's natural difficulties. And that's what Saturn really represents, is like, are you learning the valuable tools to master the craft? And that's what the World card represents, is mastering the craft of the journey that you've taken that maybe wasn't beautiful or wasn't serene or wasn't calm and helpful, but in some way, shape, or form, you've learned something from this that now gives you a tool to face this problem again, or to face this difficulty again. And I feel like you both share very similar journeys, and you guys are able to bounce certain ideas off of one another that help you to take things to the next level. And it feels like a fast track to ascension right now. So it's like you're both helping each other ascend at an exponential rate. Whereas without the other in your life, like, you would be learning these lessons alone, and they're giving you their perception and you're giving them your perception, and it's helping to fast track both of your journeys, is what this feels like. But that's why there's this longing. It's almost like there's a soul recognition here. It's like this is soul tribe, or this is a soulmate, or I'm not here to put labels on things. I'm just saying, like, this is what this feels like, a soul recognition. And you both are like, well, I know who you are. Like, I swear we've been together before. I swear that we've met each other in another life. Or I swear that, like, we're picking up where we left off, or whatever that is. And so this is a really deep recognition between the others that's also very profoundly built on emotional stability. And so while you guys may only be at this Four of Cups and not the King of Cups, right? The Four of Cups is the start of something that's foundational when it comes to our emotional well-being. And the light here, you have the sun and the moon together. So we see there's a very balanced dynamic here. You have the divine feminine, you have the divine masculine energies coming through. You also have this as something that's very stable in the physical world, while also maintaining its sense of spirituality. And so this is something that is heaven touched. This is something that is divinely touched. Not even necessarily divinely guided, even if you both feel that way. It's not necessarily about the guide here. It's that you both are divinely touched beings. And that is what makes this connection super powerful. And that is why they have this secret longing for you. And I feel like the secret longing is I just want more of pile 2 in my life. Like, I wish that I could see them all day, every day, right? And, also while recognizing that that might be something that's not feasible, or that, you both have lives to live. And so, taking that into account here. But that's where the deep longing comes from, because you brought so much light into their lives, and love and beauty. Look at this. We've got the sun in Virgo with health. Yeah, look at the sun here on this card. Yeah, you've helped them heal in ways that you otherwise wouldn't have healed, right? Our health and our well-being. That's where our riches lie. That's where true abundance is. And that's something that you bring into their lives. Wow. Okay. So you're going to get a grip of these. We've got Venus in Capricorn with convention, moving away from very restrictive ideas of love. Like, the both of you are moving away from those ideas of love, like fear-based connections. Together, you guys are demolishing that idea that things have to be very institutional, or they have to be very traditional. You don't have to have traditional relationships. So we have Saturn in Cancer with charity. Yeah, and I just feel like you both are giving each other something very deep, something very emotional here, okay? It's very loving, so you could have Cancer highly aspect in your chart. You could have Saturn in Cancer. You could have the Sun in Virgo. You could have Venus in Capricorn. You could have the second house in Cancer, North Node in Cancer, or Capricorn. And then we also have Jupiter in Taurus with status. So I feel like together, again, like the second house energy is really about our self-worth and our value, our abundance, what we're attracting into our life, what we're magnetizing into our lives. And so I do feel like together you're both building something very foundational that's going to be recognized by a lot of people. Like a lot of people are going to notice it. A lot of people are going to see it. And a lot of people are going to ask you questions like, hey, how did you come to be connected with this person? And how did you build such a stable relationship? Whether that's around the world or if that's even just in your community. So we have Mars and Taurus with defense. Yeah. And you both have had to learn how to defend yourselves through really difficult situations, really harsh situations. But you've learned how to let go of the anxiety of not trusting that things will work out. I feel like you both trust that things are going to work out and that there's no trying to control this situation. It's just allowing it to be what it is. So let's get one of these out. Okay. Jane Austen. It says, none of us want to be in calm waters all our lives. It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of good fortune must be in want of a wife. It says there are many forms of love as there are moments in time. And I feel like for life energy here is just talking about, you know, what I was saying earlier. It's like you guys are learning how to blaze past traditional forms of love. And, you know, like that's very traditional, right? Like a man who possesses good fortune wants a good wife. Like those are very traditional beliefs that we have here. And I feel like with this, none of us wants to be in calm waters all our lives. You guys haven't. Neither one of you have been in calm waters. You guys have definitely fought riptides. And now that's all you want is the nice, serene, peaceful energy that this connection brings. And that's why they have a deep longing for you as well. We have Whitney Wolfhard. She's the creator of Bumble. It says, if you don't make the first move, someone else will. Every hour spent staring at the screen is an hour spent alone. And beware, to other people, your profile is your true self. And I feel like there's no masks between you and this person. You could have met online. You don't have to, but because of this energy, you could have met online. And I also feel like you guys communicate a lot online. And so, you know, for every hour spent staring at the screen is an hour spent alone. So you guys could communicate via DM, email, text message. You know, I feel like that's the thing here. So, and maybe they made the first move here or you did. I feel like whoever's the divine feminine or the one that feels divine feminine in this energy might have been the one to make the first move here. You both could be divine feminines. You both could be divine masculines. You could be either or. It doesn't matter. But I do feel like I feel like you might have made the first move here. I do feel like that. That's an energy. And maybe you met on an app somewhere. You could have met online. Who's secretly longing for pile 2? Addict. Interesting. Helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior, and the shadows compromises integrity and honesty and allows an addictive pattern to have authority over your inner spirit. This is what I was saying. Like, you guys have fought riptides. I was just saying that. And look at this big wave that this guy is pushing back. Like, that's the thing. You guys have fought in some really, really crazy waters, and emotionally you fought to be seen, to be heard, to be loved. And I feel like both of you guys are realizing or learning how to heal the parts of yourselves that run towards emotionally unavailable people. Martyr. Yeah, learning the transcendent nature of service to oneself or a cause, and the shadow is addicted to self-pity. Isn't that funny? Addicted to self-pity, and we've got the addict here. Yeah, so this could be both of you guys realizing your need to be the victim in situations could have been manifesting as toxic relationships in your lives. Again, it doesn't have to be, but with these cards, excuse me, that's what feels like is coming through. And together you guys are learning that we don't have to be in that energy any longer. I feel like one more of these wants to come through. Yeah, first quarter moon, face those obstacles. Yeah, so you're both healing each other in a very unique way. So I do feel like there is definitely contact here. You know, like if this is a romantic interest, this is someone who does want things to go to the next level. Like they definitely wish that they could take that to the to not in a dirty way. That's not what this is. They just want to be connected physically all the time. If this is a friend, they just really want to help you heal in a very profound way. Like it's a very honest energy coming in. Someone who isn't afraid to bear all, even if they might seem a little mysterious at times. Yeah, Stellium, stop obsessing. I do feel like there's a bit of obsession between the two of you. Like you guys have an obsession with each other. You definitely like each other a lot. You guys care about each other. Let's get some love cards on it. So, Source, what else would you like to share with us? Who is secretly longing for you? Pile number 2. Okay. Who is secretly longing for you? Pile number 2. Whoa, okay. Bottom of the deck, we have date. Yeah, they want to date you. This is so cute. Get back out there, meet someone new, setting a date, dating online. Yeah, so again, pointing out to maybe you guys met online and you're just in the point of talking. Wow, this card fell out. Seduction, attraction, teasing, hooking up, and date, third party, and temptation. So they are very, 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 very attracted to you, whomever this is. They also really like the way you flirt with them, if that's something you're doing. If it's just a friendship, they're still very attracted to you in the way that you show up, the way that you talk. Like it's very enticing the way you see the world, and they really enjoy being able to bounce ideas off of you. Malefics, beware of challenges. Yeah, so I feel like both of you are holding back actually in this relationship, in this connection, because of what you went through in the past, because of the hardships that you both experienced and the hurt that you both went through. So there's definitely that challenge that's coming through here. But I feel like together you both are facing obstacles and doing things in a different way. So like if you're friends, you know, like you're not just putting 100% of your trust in each other, you're allowing that trust to unfold, right? Even though you both trust each other, but you're also not just blindly trusting that just because this person says they're your friend, or they're not blindly trusting that just because you say they're your friend that, you know, they should just 100% trust you. Like you guys are letting things build, having momentum. The same with if this is a romantic interest. This is someone that you're allowing things to unfold instead of just jumping into a date first thing and then jumping into the sheets and then creating a situation where, oh my gosh, we've only known each other for 2 weeks and now we're in a relationship, and then 2 months later you both change and you're like, what the heck, what happened, why did we change? Like I feel like everything is just moving at a snail's pace, very slow right now, but for a purpose. Yeah, engagement ring, higher commitment. This is a very special connection. Eternity, partnership, and union, and completion. So yeah, this is a very, very special, very powerful spiritual connection between you and this person. Okay, blowing kisses. Oh, I love this energy. Unconditional love, giving and receiving, fairness and love, and affection returned. They love you as much as you love them, and it's only going to grow for each other. It's a very powerful place to be. So we have clock. Oh, I love this. Is confirmation of what I was feeling earlier, right? Needing time. Cycles take time. Cycles and takes time, and time to heal and progressing. And I feel like you're both helping each other heal from the pain of the past, relationships and connections that have been hurtful, that have been suffering, that have been full of regret and grief. You both are helping each other heal from that in a very profound way. So we have camera. Yeah, reminiscing, making memories, learning from the past, and perception. Did I say that your perception has changed? Like you both help each other see things from a different way. I'm pretty sure I said that on your pile too. I'm pretty sure I did. But you guys are learning from past mistakes, and that we've been talking about that this entire time. So this is who's secretly longing for you. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this. I'm going to read this from the book. We're going to see what this card says. Yeah, yin. This is a very receptive energy here. This is someone who's very compassionate, We have intuition, trust, patience, spirituality, and receptivity. Again, confirming that this is an incredibly spiritual connection here. We have Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces energy coming through here. Okay, so let's see what Yin says from the book. I feel like this is just something very different. You've never really experienced something quite like this before. And sometimes that's uncomfortable, right? Because it asks us to show up in a very different way than what we're used to showing up as. But it's also exciting because you're seeing the reciprocity from this in a very unique way. It says Yin is the energy of the divine feminine. What did I say? The divine feminine. I feel like the divine feminine, if this is a divine feminine, divine masculine type of connection, then the divine feminine is the one that took the first step here. That's what it really feels like to me. So it says the Yin energy is the divine feminine, one half of creation. This is the subterranean, subconscious realm of conception. Feelings and ideas are nurtured in this womb-like space with no pressure to do, only to be. Yin is patient and present, open and trusting. It's the unconfined, unspoken, unexpressed world of dreams and spirit. Here lies the roots beneath the tree in the dark night that births daylight. It's where anything is possible. Being an inward, ethereal force, it's linked to the elements of water and earth. As a result, all water and earth signs within the zodiac are considered yin. Taurus, Cancer, Virgo, Scorpio, Capricorn, and Pisces. Keep in mind that this is distilled femininity and makes no reference to physical sexes. Yin energy lives within both male and female bodies. The energetics are femininity, spirituality, and receptivity. Your experiences are going inward, being trust and patience, right? At a snail's pace, and that's okay. The shadow is passive. It says allow space for stillness. Release any pressure to perform or express. Travel inward. Nurture your private world. Go for a gentle walk in nature. Sit for a warm cup of tea or take an afternoon nap. Anything that supports you in deep presence with self. You don't need to look outside yourself for definition or validation. Trust in this moment. Marinate in this magical space where anything is possible. As a long-term practice, consider your balance between yin and yang, your spiritual life and physical life. Both vital and energies ebb and flow within as two sides of creation. Do you feel a harmonious balance? So it's a really powerful thing here. It's like you both are leaving space for presence. Space to show up as you will. It's not a forced energy here. It's a very open, compassionate, nurturing, and loving energy that you both have. And this is who's secretly longing for you. And maybe you've known that this person is longing for you. Maybe you're longing for them as well. But I do feel like you both are in contact with each other and that this is one of those things that is building, but it's taking time to build, and both of you are willing to go that distance with each other, which makes all the difference in any connection. You're both allowing it to be what it's meant to be, and that is not something that happens often with connections of any type. So enjoy the ride, because I feel like something magnificent is going to come from this, okay? What an amazing reading. This is what I see here for you, pile number 2. If you felt like this was your reading, leave the little diamond emoji down below and say, I've been formed through the pressures of life, and now I get to share my shine with the people who appreciate me as I am in this moment. And if it resonated with you, it'd mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box. So I'd like to take a moment to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angels, source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this truly profound reading today. And until next time, pile number 2, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with the moon on it, or perhaps you were called to this shard of amethyst, or maybe you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, this is going to be a reading on who is secretly longing for you. We're all here sharing this human experience together, and this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic selves. I do things differently here on this channel, so with that being said, if the message does resonate, it would mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And there may be triggering statements that do arise on the readings themselves. Remember, there's no obligation to force it to fit, and triggers can be a beautiful blueprint for us to deepen our healing journey. Your time and your energy are a true gift and a blessing today, and I'm honored to be here sharing it with you. So with that being said, let's go ahead and hop to it, and we're going to find out who's secretly longing for you, pile number 3. Who is secretly longing for you? Source, what would you like to share with us today? Who is secretly longing for you, pile 3? All right, we've got the first house, we've got Virgo energy, and we've got the moon. This is someone who sticks to themselves, even though when they're out and about, they do command a lot of attention. But it is someone who is not necessarily an extrovert. Like, they might be an amnivert. Is that right? Omnivert? Omnivert, maybe? Amnivert? Anyways. But I do feel like they're a little bit more introverted than anything. This is someone who is, they often at times appear as a mystery. And they are very unique in the way that they approach life. They're very practical. And oftentimes they are doing things very meticulously. So they are very detail-oriented individuals. They focus on the small, minute details of life and of what projects they have going on. But I also feel like this is someone who might be a leader. So this could be like a boss in your life, or someone who has status, but not necessarily status that they want. It's just status that they've earned is what this feels like. I also feel like this is someone who is pretty emotionally mature, but I do feel like they also have a fear of codependent relationships. So I'm getting someone that is a little bit non-committal. And there's this essence of innocence that's coming from them as well. But I feel like that's just the energy that they give off. I don't feel like they're truly innocent. Like, they're definitely someone that gets a little wild here and there. But that's only with the people they get really close with. That's only with the people that they learn to trust, or that they're able to trust along the journey. So this could be a Virgo. You could have Virgo highly aspect in your chart. Someone who has a Virgo in their rising sign. Someone who has Virgo moon. This could be a Cancer rising with a Capricorn moon. This could be an Aries sun with a Virgo moon. I'm also getting Mercury in Cancer, Mercury in Leo is coming in as well. So let's go ahead and tap in a little bit deeper and find out some more here. I'm going to be using the Kim Kranz Wild Unknown Tarot to find some more answers today. So source, can you tell us some more for pile 3? Who is secretly longing for you, pile number 3? Who is secretly longing for you, pile number 3? Who is secretly longing for you, pile number 3? What would you like to say today? Alright. I feel like there's like a fear of coming forward, a fear of saying how they truly feel because of rejection that's coming in. Who is secretly longing for you, pile number 3? Yeah. You might have resonated with another pile as well, because the Queen of Cups came out in the exact same position in another one of the piles. Who is secretly longing for you, pile number 3? Okay. Yeah, Aries, Cancer, Cardinal energy coming out. Yeah, you could have definitely resonated with one of the other piles. This might also elicit... Okay, so This is coming in. If you resonated with one of the other piles, this is a specific message for those of you that might have come from one of the other piles. And as always, if you listen to all three piles, leave a purple heart down below. You're part of the Purple Heart Club, okay? But this is also something that this connection may elicit a lot of fear for you because of feeling a lot of similar things coming through with this person as to a prior relationship, okay? But I just want to put that out there. I don't feel like this person has any ill intention for you. I do feel like they're super confident though, but they're an introvert and they're a confident introvert. Like they're okay with being behind closed doors, but there's also situations and circumstances that arise that ask them to be very extroverted, which is why I'm saying like they might be an ambivert, but I feel like the thing is here is that this person would rather just, you know, Netflix and chill like all the time. Like they just want to, let me put on my favorite, what is it? I'll put on my favorite sweatpants and I'll order you pad thai. Do you want to do nothing with me? Who sings that song? Lawrence, I think, is the band that sings that. Do you want to do nothing with me? Yeah, like I feel like that's the type of person they are. They're just very much like a homebody and they just want to hang out. And if they want, like if you wanted to go somewhere, they would totally go with you, but it's just not something that they might like offer because they would just rather sit at home and hang out at home and really just not do a whole lot. This person's very, very private about their lives as well. But I feel like this person knows that they have a choice and they're going to have to make a choice. They're going to have to take some action. But I do feel like there's a fear of rejection that's coming through. But there's also a fear of like, so like if this is a boss, if this is someone you work with and this is someone who's like a superior to you, there's also this fear of like, what kind of dynamic is that going to cause if I come forward to pile 3? Because you know, I don't want to make them uncomfortable. So they are for sure considering how you feel in this connection. They're considering how you feel in the real world as well. It's like, I'm not just going to fantasize about pile 3 and just totally come crashing into their life like a wrecking ball and expect them to, you know, make things work because that's what I want. Like they're really looking at all sides of this. And that's why it's like, they're very detail oriented. And so this is someone who's planning things out. They're very logical, and I feel like this is someone who's they overthink everything, and so they're like planning it out and then they're thinking about all the ways that could go wrong, and so they're replanning it out, thinking about all the ways that could go wrong. And you know, if you haven't seen the show Spy X Family, I definitely highly recommend it. It is so cute. But Lloyd Forger, also known as Twilight, whenever something happens, like he always has like a couple of scenarios, and then he has like a certain amount of scenarios for those scenarios that go into those scenarios. And so like he's sending Frankie on this date, and so when he sends Frankie on this date, he ends up giving Frankie like 1,500 different scenarios to give him the ultimate date experience because he's a spy. And he does the same thing when he's with Yor. Like he's trying to take Yor out on a date and make her feel better, but he doesn't know that she got shot in the butt. It's a really funny situation, but that's what this person is like. He's like overthinking everything, and he's trying to come up with the best possible plan to move forward, all the while not realizing that maybe communication would ease that. So there's a lot of inference here, and you know, they might like infer that they feel something towards you and expect you to kind of read between the lines, because they might even be from a different country. Like this might be someone who comes from a different cultural background. You know, they're talking about emotional intelligence of different countries. There's this book out there, and I wish I could remember what it's called. I know it has a yellow cover, like that'll help. But it talks about how like we're in America, we're very high communicative culture. So we communicate feelings. We openly talk about feelings. Like, even though I already hear people saying that's not true, we don't do that. But if you go to like France, France has a lot of read between the lines. So if you go out on a date with someone and say you date them for 2 weeks without ever asking you to be a boyfriend or a girlfriend, suddenly it's just inferred that you're a boyfriend and girlfriend, and so they expect you to take on that role without ever talking to you. And there's a lot of countries that are like that. And so they may come from a background where they can't really just vocalize how they feel. They just want to infer it. And so they're kind of hoping that you're going to figure it out. But I feel like you come from a place, or you've healed in this energy where it's like, I need someone to be openly honest with me. And so it's a very uncomfortable situation for them. And they want to be honest with you, but they're still just very like they're still hiding behind something here. But they do recognize that they need to take action soon. Yeah, we have the Magician on the bottom of the deck here. Like they want to be able to come through and manifest you into their life. But you see here, like the Sword is the main thing here, right? On this card, like you see it. That's what's blocking them. They're very comfortable with how they feel. They're very comfortable with what they're able to manifest. They're very comfortable with their passion and their spiritual journey. But when it comes to like actually communicating, it's something they look away from all the time. Like this person has a hard time communicating things. They definitely love you. Yeah, this is like very romantic love here. This is like soulmate love. And they want to take care of you. I feel like this is someone, once you get past that initial hurdle of the awkward communication, like someone who's very clear about how they want to lift you up and how they want to make you feel. They want to nurture you. They want to be there for you. But again, there's this energy where they do fear. Yeah, they do fear codependency, and maybe they've been codependent. Like they've been the one that was an enabler to someone and gave a whole bunch of themselves to someone else, and they ended up getting hurt, and they don't want to do that again. And so that could be also what's holding them back. But I do feel like this is someone who, when you see them, you wouldn't know that they were going through all these scenarios in their head, because they give off this very confident, self-assured energy. They could be a Sagittarius. They could have Mercury highly aspect in their charts. You could have Mercury highly aspect in your chart. An Aries energy, and Cancer is coming through as well. Taurus and Libra and Scorpio energy. Would not surprise me if this person had Venus in Scorpio and a moon in Scorpio together, because that's kind of that energy. I'm getting very secretive, very mysterious, like kind of hopes that you'll just catch what they're meaning even without them saying it. They could have a Scorpio sun. You could have Scorpio sun. You could have a Scorpio rising and they could have Scorpio Venus, or they could have Scorpio rising and you could have a Scorpio Venus. So I do feel like there's definitely attraction here between the two of you. But I just feel like there's just this energy where this person's just not saying what they need to say. Like, so it's just kind of at a stalemate right now, but they do have a deep longing for you. They are very attracted to you. Very attracted to you, and they want something more. And I feel like they just want to build something that seems logical, while at the same time not ruining things for you as well. Like, especially if this is a work situation. But that keeps coming through. Like, I don't want to ruin it for pile 3. Like, I don't want things to fall apart for pile 3. So maybe you're in a relationship with someone else, or maybe you have a connection already that's built, and you know, they're taking that into consideration. Like, I really feel like you both have attraction for each other, but maybe there was just this person took so long to come forward that you just took other avenues, which is fine. Like, there's no reason to feel bad about that at all. But I just feel like this is a thing, and it's like they are very considerate of the situation that you're both in together, and they're trying to weigh the odds here, and that's creating a very difficult situation for them to move forward, because they're stuck by their emotions. No, I should say they're stuck by their logic while also being drawn by their emotions. And if you see here, like, you see how neither one of them are facing each other, right? Like, he's in the future position. I shouldn't say he, but it's the Father of Wands. So the Father of Wands is in the future position. The Mother of Cups is in the past position. And you're split by the Two of Wands here. How do your paths interact? You know, how do they intersect? They're parallel, but there doesn't look like there's something here that's perpendicular. It looks like you're racing along a train track and neither one of you are paying attention to each other right now. And I feel like that's all an act. I honestly feel like that's an act. I feel like if you guys were to focus on each other, it would just kind of be like an actual explosion of feeling and love. And that's scaring either you or them or both of you together. And that's okay. Like there's, you know, again, sometimes it's hard. If, especially, like I said, if those of you that came from another pile, like you've gone through something that was really, really troubling and difficult to handle, you know, it's really hard to give yourself to someone again like that. And for them, they might have a similar background where they went through something that was really traumatizing and traumatic. And how do I give myself to another person, even though they feel this way about you? So I do feel like there's definitely positive interactions when you guys come together and you're able to talk to each other. There's very positive interactions. There's love that's exchanged, kindness and compassion. But it's like, as much as you both wish that excuse me, as much as you both wish that those interactions lasted, it's like both of you are also kind of rushing to the next thing because of the discomfort that's there as well. And that could be because it's asking you to show up in a different way, right? Like that can create discomfort too. But I do feel a lot of love here. I do feel a lot of gentle energy here. It just feels like there's resistance from both sides that's creating... That's why this hasn't moved forward. So, who's secretly longing for you, pile 3? Source, what more would you like to say? Whoa, okay, that just went flying off the table. Let me see if I can reach it. Do you want to do nothing with me? Do you want to do nothing with me? What? Hold on. My table's in the way. Just about smacked my head on it. Okay, there we go. Okay. I got that song stuck in my head now. And I don't know it well enough to sing it good, but it's a good song. Check it out. Okay, so we have Venus in Taurus with romance. Yeah, so exactly. There's definitely a lot of romantic feelings between the two of you. They have a deep romantic wish to have you in their life, but I just feel like there's a lot of consideration for the situation at hand. So there's like something that's preventing the two of you from being together right now. It just feels like you're either... There could be cultural differences. It could be a job situation. It could be life situations, you know. So we have Saturn in Leo with generosity. So I do feel like regardless, like they're very generous with their kindness to you and how they show up for you. They do want things to move forward, but there's... Wow, I just about lost my voice. Yeah, there's just this fear. There's a fear that's coming in. So maybe you guys are at a distance from each other and it's like, who's going to move? You know, like if I move, then I'm going to lose this. Or if pile 3 moves, then they're going to lose this. Like they're not expecting you to just up and leave everything for them. And the same is that they would hope that you'd feel the same for them, that they wouldn't just have to up and leave everything that they know. But they're like not coming to a satisfied compromise within their own logical reasoning. We have Yoko Ono. Yes is always the answer. Love is performance art that takes place among the clouds. Love is not a dream. You can remember it if you want to. Yeah, so I do feel like there's definitely a recognition here between the two of you and a deep care. But, you know, like saying yes to something that seems very challenging, you know, like moving, that can be something that's really hard to say yes to. Right? That could be a huge challenge because that's uprooting your entire life to move to someone when you might not know what the outcome is. Are you willing to take that risk? You know, and I feel like that's exactly where they're at. They're just trying to weigh the pros and cons here. But again, I was feeling that like you both are like putting on a mask here in front of each other. It's not because you don't care about each other. It's just because it's like you're the fear is overtaking you both. Like, I don't know if I can give myself to them just yet. I don't know if I can give that part of myself just yet. Marilyn Monroe says orgasms don't exist. It's better to spend your time reading Ulysses. Enjoy your wedding day. You only get to do that 3 or 4 times in your life. And it says never pick stability over a good time. So it's honestly with Marilyn Monroe. And it's so funny. I was actually having this conversation with my family member last night. Like, she was such an incredible actress, right? Like Marilyn Monroe. She didn't really think highly of herself, though. Like, she knew how to put on a show, and she knew how to present herself in a world of men to where she was just absolutely ogled and loved. And of course, she's absolutely beautiful. But I think there's this quote, I can't remember if it was in Think and Grow Rich or it's one of those self-help books that I have. I think it was that one. I'm not 100% sure, but she mentions when they were doing the procession for JFK's funeral, she was asking some of her friends, she's like, do you want to see something that's funny? And they were like, okay, like, we're at this funeral. She's like, no. She's like, I just don't know how many people recognize that I can do this. And she was in her funeral clothes, and she was kind of like closed in on herself and everything like that. And then all of a sudden they're like, well, okay, if you're going to show us, go ahead and show us. And she stood in a specific way to where no one was paying her any attention at first. And then all of a sudden everyone was like, oh, that's Marilyn Monroe. That's Marilyn Monroe. Like, she was there the whole time, but it was the way that she was holding herself, and that changed the whole outlook of everything. And so I think it's just really interesting because right now it's like the way you guys are holding yourself, there's still just a fear between you two. Like, I don't know if I'm ready to open up to this. And it's a choice that you get to make. And there is no right or wrong here. There's only what's right or wrong for you. And I feel like that's the thing. It's like, I think this is really telling, never pick stability over a good time. It's like, are you willing to take the risk? That's the question here. Even for them, are they willing to take the risk? But I do feel like all these hearts here, they definitely love you. Like, they have a deep love for you, and that's why they're longing for you. Like, they really want to see what could become of that. But if it hasn't worked out in the past, why is it going to work out now? Well, it's different now, right? But sometimes convincing ourselves of that or reminding ourselves of that can be a real challenge on this journey, especially if we've had our hearts broken so badly in the past. And so we have Samaritan here. Yeah, refine your capacity to help those you would prefer to ignore. And the shadow is exacting appreciation, recognition for the help you offer. So I do feel like you guys are definitely helping others, even people that you find it hard to help. Like, you both have very similar outlooks in life. You could have a very difficult job, very high stress job as well that's coming through. Maybe a high sales, stocks, something along those lines. Yeah, square, something that's very challenging here. Turn a corner. So this is a very challenging situation just because there's a lot to it. Okay, you could have a lot of squares in your chart. They could have a lot of squares in their chart too. But we have cusp. Yeah, break on through. It's time to make a decision. And that's not for you to necessarily go through and make the, to show up and be like, okay, I got to make the decision. I got to do this. What it is, it's just saying like something has to break through here. So, maybe they'll come through and they'll say something, or maybe you'll get called to say something to them. Just depends. Yeah, I'm not surprised. We have soulmates here. Soul connection, partnership, soul contract, and life partner. Now, this is not a labeled relationship, and I'm going to tell you why, because that label exists in this deck. So for the soulmate card to come out, this is a very beautiful connection that you guys have with one another, and it can turn into something very profound. Okay, is this the 4 of coins? No, it's a 4 of wands. Yeah. But you have to let go of old patterns, old beliefs that are saying I'm not enough, or that are saying that I have to let go of myself in order to have this. And I feel like that's something that they're fighting as well. Mirror. Yeah, you guys are mirroring each other. I've been feeling this whole reading. Definitely the resistance. You're both mirroring. And that, again, there's nothing wrong with that. It's okay, right? Like, I'm not going to be the reader that's like, get up off your butt and go and do something about it if you love them. Like, no, because the truth is that you have to do what you feel ready to do. Like, that's not for me to decide. That's not for any reader to decide. nor is it, you know, trying to push them into doing it either, right? Like, that's not okay. Like, we have to remember that when we feel called, taking action is a powerful thing. But it's okay to also have resistance when we need resistance, because it means we're still working through something, and that's okay. So we have mirroring each other, self-reflection, introspection, and inner wounds. Yeah, so there's definitely this mirrored energy here between the two of you. I feel like that's also another thing that makes you guys attracted to one another and why they have a deep longing, because you have a sense of understanding about their journey and where they're at more than anybody else has. And that's why I feel like that comes out in those moments when you guys have conversation, or when you guys are connecting with one another. It comes out more than they would like to admit. Okay, on the bottom of the deck, yeah, we've got the butterfly, evolving and growth, the next phase, healing inner child, releasing the past. Yeah, so Source is showing you, it's like this is about you guys releasing the past. You're both working through that together. And that's a good thing, right? Like, that's a good thing. It doesn't mean that things are going to change overnight, though. And holding realistic expectations is an okay thing. So we have Mars and Pisces, escape. Yeah, there's definitely that running away energy that I keep. This is kind of wishy-washy in a way, right? It's like, maybe this is like, you're hot, then you're cold. You're yes, then you're no. You're in and you're out. You're up and you're down, right? Like, okay, Katy Perry. So yeah, maybe this person's like in and out, they're hot and cold, or maybe you're in and out and hot and cold, and you're like, what the heck is up with us? And I feel like that's just that bouncing, that energy back and forth. You're both really attracted to each other, but it just feels like there's a lot of extenuating circumstances that are preventing the two of you from coming together, and that can be really frustrating. And again, it's not to drop everything, but it is to be aware of, you know, is there a solution? And the only way to find out if there's a solution is to ask Source to help you find a solution. If there's a solution, one will appear. If there's not, then maybe right now it's not the time to really worry about where this is going to go, and just allow things to unfold, because you might be pleasantly surprised. Yeah, we have the moon in Virgo again. Confirmation here. Order. Yeah. So this just feels like there's an order to things. There's an order to how things are going to unfold for you guys. There's an order to how things are falling into place, and that's okay. Trust in divine timing. Trust in Source working through this for you guys and helping you guys out. But also trust that when you get that nudge to take it. And I hope that they trust that when they get that nudge, they take it too, right? We can't convince someone to do that. Okay, yeah, we have gossip here. Interesting. Awakens consideration for the feelings of others. Honoring trust. That's the thing. Like, they're very considerate of you. That's so synchronistic that this card would come out when that's what I've been feeling this whole time. They're very considerate of the position that you hold or where you're at in life. The shadows thrives on the power of passing on private or secret information, betraying confidences. So they could also be worried about gossip between, you know, you guys. Like, if this is in the workplace, like, they don't want office gossip to go around and potentially hurt you. And so they're very considerate of how this is affecting you. And like I said, they're very much in this energy, especially with Virgo. Like, they're playing over and over scenarios here. Yeah, let the feelings flow. Water. This is also very powerful. It's just being honest with how you feel about each other, right? And maybe just being honest with yourself, pile 3, like being honest with yourself about how you feel about this person. That's enough to kind of start getting things rolling here. And again, it's only if you're honest with yourself. You don't have to share that with them, but being honest with yourself will maybe change the energy of stagnancy here, right? It's not a for sure thing, but it also has the potential to release any kind of burden on you as well. Like, it's okay if you've been through hardships, and it's okay to love again, right? It's safe to love again. Death, yeah. The relationship is over, no second chance. Grow and transform. What's dead is dead. I feel like both of you guys are fearing something that's happened in the past as well. So this situation is mirroring something from the past, not today. Yeah, boundaries and hurt, avoiding conversation, not dealing, and still upset. So a lot of synchronicities to what I've been feeling here in this energy. Why it's so wishy-washy, it's just because you both very much care about each other. But you're not ready to talk it over. Like, you're not ready to face what's next in this relationship because you're both healing from something in the past, from being hurt, from being betrayed. That's the mirror, you know, for the mirror to come out right in the middle of the reading as well. So that's what they're saying here. It's not that you guys don't have a connection. You very much do. And I feel like sometimes that's something that's really frustrating because it might leave you very confused or feeling like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And that's why I was getting that song, You're Hot and Then You're Cold. Like, this person's in that energy. And without knowing, you also might be giving them that energy too, without knowing, right? Just because you're still healing from the past, you're still dealing with hurt energy, and that's okay. That's why being honest with yourself has the ability to kind of move energetically things along. And it's not your responsibility. That's not what I'm trying to say here, but it's an option for you to just have a moment and give yourself that honesty and love. And that's a big self-care movement for you. And that might be enough to just allow you to know what's next for you in regards to this. But this is a very interesting energy coming through here. So let's take a look at this card. I'm going to read this from the book. We're going to see what it says. The 9th house, yeah. Spiritual growth. It's got a lot of growing cards, like the Death card, grow and transform. You got the butterfly on the bottom over here, grow, right? Evolve and grow. We have the runner underneath that. So this could be a runner. You could be a runner, you know, and owning what part you're in. It's not just somebody's a chaser and somebody's a runner. It's a very fluid energy. We all have both parts. So yeah, but this growth, right? Healing inner child from heartbreak. Look, underneath this is backstabbing. Yeah. So running because of betrayal, right? So they're being very clear, like, you're both going through something. You both have gone through something, and that's why this is kind of just at a standstill right now. And that's kind of the only place that it can be right now, and that's okay, right? Things don't have to move fast. They don't have to jump to the next thing. Like, healing is important. It's also a place of rest for us as well. Healing is. So it says, the wide open space reflects your higher mind and life philosophy. Within a lifespan, it's a period of spiritual growth and gaining a broader perspective. It reveals your ethics and anything that opens the mind, such as higher education and foreign travel. Are you an adventurous spirit craving growth, or a creature of habit, comfortable and in your corner of the world? So you guys might be opposites of each other too. Like, you might be the adventurer, and again, they're like the creature of habit, right? Do you feel free or restricted? Jupiter ruled this space reveals your relationship to expansion and the things that block or support your quest. This house is the natural home of Sagittarius, the explorer, and reveals your long journeys of body and mind. You may expand through travel, where different cultures broaden your viewpoint. Wasn't I saying that? Like, you guys might be also because of different cultural backgrounds. Wow, what a synchronicity. And you may go through spirituality. You may grow through spirituality in places of worship, never leaving your hometown. This house reflects man's search for meaning, and no two journeys look the same. The energetics are life philosophy, ethics, and places of worship. The experiences are spiritual growth, long journeys, foreign travel, gaining a broader perspective, and higher education. It says, open your mind to new ways of being and seeing. Yes, this is a powerful time for foreign travel, but expanding your mind can be equally profound. Journey through the pages of a book and explore a new way of thinking. Learn about a different culture, spiritual practice, or belief system. With a curious spirit and an open mind, seek adventure on the physical or mental plane. Allow these experiences to sink into the core of your being. Let them stretch and shift your perspective. This can become a time of profound awakening if you allow the lens through which you experience life to change and expand. And so I do feel like they're asking, like, this connection is asking you to see things from a wider perspective, right? From a wider scope. It's not just about the physical connection. Like, what is this bringing into my life? And I feel like right now there's a lot of healing that's going on between you two, but also the consideration shows that You are worthy of respect in relationships. You are worthy of love. And just because this person is not jumping at the chance to be in a relationship with you right now, that doesn't mean that they don't love you, right? Because I do feel like this person loves you really, really deeply, and they care about you really deeply because they're putting you at the forefront of their mind. They don't want things to fall apart. They don't want you to get hurt in this situation, while they're also thinking about themselves and saying, I don't want to get hurt either. So there is a lot of consideration that's happening here. And so I think that that's really profound. But also, I just really feel like it's necessary for you to be honest with yourself and how you feel. Like, is it frustrating? Is it overwhelming? Is it hurtful? Is it reminding you of a past situation? Like, what is this situation bringing up for you? And when you look into that, you're going to heal yourself in a very beautiful way. Okay? So this is what I see here for you today, pile number 3. I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. But if you felt like this was your reading, leave the butterfly emoji down below and say it's through honesty of self that I get to grow spiritually and expand my perspective to experience new adventures and loves along the way. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box. I'd like to take this moment to thank your guides, your spiritual messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this message today. And until next time, stay human. Bye.